Yeah, so we did an ad with MrBeast. We paid him $500,000 for him to put us in one of his videos. It was basically this contestant that was brought on. He was locked in a gym until he like lost a certain amount of weight.
Him when he was filming the video.
We met him while he was filming. We were at his studio. And
Oh,
he's
really?
He's like, oh, my friend has been locked in this gym for 100 days now. He's got 200 more to go. And so we went and visited like him in the zoo.
This was like 16 months ago. It was like that's how long they were planning this video.
Yeah, that was a wild video. I think it was one of their best performing videos.
Yeah,
like in a long time when it came out. And so they were making a second video on their second channel, which was like, did he maintain his body weight after the video or did he just regress? And we were offered to sponsor that video. I knew someone that like was on the team, and so he helped us sponsor it. And so they let me fly out to actually see it happen. And then they offered me to do one of the takes to come in and talk about the app. So it was cool. They ended up using that take in the video. I'd say that the results of that right away definitely was a little bit unprofitable. It's always hard attribution because there's no way, like most people are going to the app store directly and downloading. Not many people are clicking a link. So you don't know exactly how many people went and downloaded. But looking at the time overlap, looking at promo code usage, and a few other metrics that we use to determine this stuff, we probably made $350,000, maybe $400,000 just from that $500,000 promo. And the rest of it, actually, I believe we were profitable long-term. And if we're not yet, we're going to be, because having the brand name MrBeast, saying we were in a video, we were able to do way more deals afterwards. We had way more credibility with our brand. And so the profit from those deals it's enabled for us has exceeded the total amount.
How big's the team?
The team is about 30 people, a little more than that.
And how many hours a week are you spending going to class?
Well, first semester, I think it was 4 classes a week. So it wasn't that crazy of a schedule. It was like an hour and a half.
What's your major? What are you studying? Are you like Rocks for Jocks type of schedule where you're like, I'm an athlete
art
here,
history,
and I need to pass? Or are you like, I'm trying to be a computer science major?
I first joined the business school, or I applied into it, but I switched out and went undecided because I wanted to do more of kind of what Steve Jobs always talked about, how he took like the calligraphy class that really enabled him to build the Macintosh operating system. So I was taking like a VR class, which was really cool. It was like all about the metaverse. A design class too, a business class, and the professor there was actually a really awesome guy.
Dude, you know how like China like raises like super athletes, like they get like 2 7-foot people and they like make them breed and like they like set them up to where at the age of 12 the kid has everything they need. This is like you for business. Like you already have an exit, running a company. You're downloading Steve Jobs ideas and like going through.
I'm impressed with your decision making. Like even just that little thing of like, you know what, like business would be the kind of maybe obvious choice for you, but saying I'm going to go undecided so that I have freedom to take interesting classes that just spark my curiosity, maybe outside of my normal path of things I'm familiar with, because long term that's actually going to help me maybe, right? Like I feel like so many of your decisions have been good. In fact, probably that's the most impressive part about you, right? You're a well-spoken guy. You've obviously hustled. You built a cool app. Like all of that's great. But yeah, the decision-making is actually what stands out to me in a way that like is not common amongst people in general, but definitely amongst younger people, right? Like I have friends that make terrible decisions and I see you and I'm like, this guy's kind of consistently making good decisions. Are you a big like mentors guy? Do you have like a person you call for a lot of questions? Are you just figuring this stuff out on your own? Are you a journaler? Like what's helping you here?
Thank you. First of all, it really means a lot. I think I definitely had mentors that supported me. Someone who was my co-founder with Cal AI, Blake Anderson, he's helped me a lot with so many things, not just business life, but personal life too. So I've learned a ton from him, and I'd say that's definitely helped me. The biggest thing is he's helped me shape a lot of decision-making frameworks. So how to analyze when to make certain decisions. Like he kind of taught me about like what EV is and all of these different principles to help make smart
Tell us
decision.
some of those. I would like to learn. What are your frameworks for making good decisions? Like what comes top of mind?
Sure. Well, EV is a good one. So like gamblers obviously know this, where it's like the percent chance of winning something and then the prize, and you multiply them together. And then it's like whatever you have a 100% chance of getting versus the chance of losing it all versus the prize money you could have, whichever is greater, like that's which one you should often pick. And so using that was very helpful for when thinking about, okay, selling the company and what we think makes sense in terms of what we're willing to sell for. It's like, what do we think the EV is of, like, what's the chance of us getting to this? What's the chance of it falling apart? What's the chance of this? And so that was helpful. It's like one good decision-making framework.
Yeah, it's a great one, especially for selling, because let's just pretend somebody offers you $100 for your business. So you have 100% chance of the $100, or maybe not even 100, maybe 90, because it might not close, but okay. So you basically, the expected value of that, let's call it, is $100, 100% times $100. And then you say, but if we keep going, what if we could get to 500? Okay, great. What if? Sure. Then you ask the question, well, what do you think are the chances you could get there? There's a 10% chance. Okay, so 10% times 500 gives you 50. So it's a better decision to take the 100 expected value over the 50, right?
Yep.
Or let's say you think it's a 20% chance. So now you're even. Okay, but what's the percent chance it all falls apart, goes to zero, right? There's going to be, if you keep running it, you have some risk, ongoing risk of it falling apart. Even if you think that's a 10% chance, you have to factor that in. And so once you do that, you get a more objective way of making a decision versus just going on pure emotion or your mood in the moment or fear and greed based on whatever day the weather is for you.
Yeah, that was a perfect example.
And in my opinion, selling for you, that's just such a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer because the liquid money that you have is going to compound. I mean, to have what you have, I don't know what you have, but 7 or 8 figures, I don't know. At that young age, it's going to compound like crazy. And also, I think people underestimate the clout that comes with a sale.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
He's like, I don't underestimate that. Okay, so where to from here? So you're just going to go to college now? You're going to like, eventually in the future, you want to start something new? If you start something new, you're like, I have to go bigger? Are you going to fall into that trap? Like, what's going to be the mindset going forward now?
I have so many ideas always. I'm very committed to making sure that Cal AI will endure long term. And so I want to make sure that the transition is super smooth between the companies. And I likely in a few months will start. I don't know if I'm going to be as open with this one as I was with Cal AI. I was so public about Cal AI, which I think was great. Like so much upside, even though there was downside too, but way more upside. With the next one, I'll probably be a little more stealthy. And I think I know what I want to build. I'm not going to share just yet, but I'm definitely excited to like work on something new. I have a ton of new ideas.
What were the top 3 ideas that you were interested in?
I'd say the contenders, like they don't really matter that much because I didn't believe in them enough to want to start them. But there are many good ideas. I mean, I just had this idea, like for other apps while building Cal AI, I just constantly had like, oh, this would be a cool $1 million idea. I could see this going super viral very easily and it's not hard to build. But at this point, it doesn't really make sense for me to spend my time doing it because I'm shooting for like $1 billion company is my goal. And so one idea that I actually tweeted about 2 days ago is that someone should build a semantic search for your followers on either Instagram or X, wherever you want, so that you could look through. And this could be helpful for so many reasons. Let's say you're looking to date someone. Like Instagram, a lot of people don't realize, but like it's one of the biggest dating apps. Like so many people are meeting from Instagram today. So being able to semantically search for your type through your followers and then going through. Being able to semantically search for who are the entrepreneurs that follow me, who are the cool people. I mean, my tweet just blew up and I had so many people follow me and I'm like looking through and I'm like, oh shit, this really cool person's following me. I had no idea. And like, I didn't get a special notification. So even being able to be alerted of stuff like that, that's definitely an easy, like few $1 million idea that someone could build.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I've always wanted that. I would pay for that. Same thing. I don't go through who follows. And so I'm like, I don't get alerted if somebody interesting follows me, somebody that I would want to know. And it's a hard thing to exactly say, well, who would you want to know about? I I don't know, but I can't give you one rule, but there's somebody who could if you could figure that one problem out, there's a lot of people who would be interested in that, whether it's on the search side or the alert side. I'm a believer in that. What are some other cool ideas? So if there's somebody who's the, sort of 17, 18, 19-year-old version of you, are you guiding them to be like, build apps? Is that the play you still see as the juiciest? Is it specifically around AI? Is it, what are the ideas you would brainstorm for kind of the next version of you who's sitting somewhere listening to this episode right now?
So if they are just trying to get started, it's like one of their first projects. They're not trying to swing too big. They're trying to swing to something reasonable, like build a $1 million company or make a few $1 million from it. Then I think apps is such a great space to build in right now, because there are so many apps that are just possible to build now, especially enabled by AI. But even without AI, for example, some that have spun up recently, my friend built an app called Quitter. It is an app that helps guys quit porn. Doesn't really use AI, it just kind of gamifies the process, gives you a streak, gives you a roadmap, rewards, and like meditation guides. And that's been super helpful for a lot of people. And now it's making over $5 million a year.
Crazy.
That's awesome. What are some other cool apps that we are not on our radar, but just people who are doing well, people who are crushing it, people who have cool ideas?
Yeah, did you guys see Claim?
No, how do you spell it?
No.
Okay, so it blew up on Twitter a little bit. It was made by one of my friends. It's basically an app that allows people to get into class action lawsuits where, like, let's say you drank Pepsi and then there's a Pepsi class action lawsuit. You could sign up so that when it's settled, you get like $10 or $15.
How do you
Hell yeah.
How do you spell it?
CACLAIM. It actually got taken off the App Store, unfortunately, but they made like $1 million in their first 30 days of launching.
Claim, make them pay is the.
Yeah.
What was when Shard and I were like 22? There was a app that got released in San Francisco that was amazing. It was called Do Not Pay, and I don't know.
Oh yeah,
is that still around? Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah,
but
it is.
it was magic when it got released. Basically in San Francisco, it was famous. Like in New York, I imagine the same way. Where if you get getting parking tickets, sometimes you're like, I'll just get 2 parking tickets a month instead of paying for parking, and it's going to like be a better deal. And it would somehow automatically tell you before you even got back to your car that you got the parking ticket, and it's going to like fight it for you. And it was amazing.
Well, it would scan the ticket and be like, look, he wrote the number, but it went outside of the box that the box where it was supposed to be in. Technically, you don't have to pay now, right? Or he didn't fill this in, or the visibility on that sign is low, so you don't have to pay.
And then I think the city banned it, and it went away. But apps like that were amazing, and this is the same thing as Claim, where it's like just go and find me money or save me money. Go ahead and just do that for me.
What's your framework you used to think of? You used to filter good bad idea here. Is it, I work backwards from the ad? I think about what the TikTok would be, and if it makes for a juicy TikTok, then it's going to be a good ad. It's going to be a good app. Or is it, I want an app that makes you money or helps you, stop a problem or start a thing that you want to do? Like, I guess, walk us through how you think about these.
That's a great question, because I think a lot of people always ask like, oh, how do you come up with ideas? The first question I always get when I tell someone about Cali Eyes, how do you come up with that? And everyone's trying to think like, I want to come up with these huge ideas. How can I do it? I think that learning how to come up with ideas, that is a skill, but I think the more important skill and the better skill is a framework to validate what is a good idea. Because you could come up with ideas all the time, but like you need to know, okay, which ones are good, which ones are bad, so you could filter through really quickly. And the way that I validate them, I think it needs to be a little bit different for everyone, like, because it depends on your skill set. I validate good or bad ideas that are good or bad for me, like stuff I'm interested in, stuff I think I could kill and like really blow up. And so for me, I look for ideas that I know are very marketable. They can go super viral. And I look for things that I've personally experienced, have some firsthand experience with, or I know people that are experiencing it. So I know who I'm building for very specifically. And I've seen enough companies where I can have an idea like, okay, this company that's adjacent to this one, to the idea I have, the adjacent company is doing this much in revenue. So I think I could at least get to here, if not all the way or surpass it. And so it gives me a good, quick way of thinking like, how far can this go? But before building that intuition, you could always analyze the TAM of a space. You could analyze the competitive landscape And there are a few other metrics that you could look at that just help you kind of objectively assess, is this something worth pursuing?
But what's your checklist now? So for TAM, what's your TAM size?
To be honest, TAM is one of those things where I kind of always look at my gut for this. I'm not like doing Google research. Okay, I didn't look up what's the TAM of a calorie tracking app before starting Cal AI, but I kind of saw, okay, this other app is making $200 million a year. So I know that's like the minimum ceiling, the lowest floor of what we could get to. And so that's how I validated building one. But I think a lot of people are detoured by seeing that another app or another product is doing what they do.
No, it should be the opposite. It should say that's proof.
Yeah, exactly. That's proof it works. And the market is so big that all of these apps can be successful. I mean, if a company is still growing, that means that there's still a gap. There's still people that are underserved and can use it. Like, I hear all the time, I was in the entrepreneurship class, people were pitching their ideas. Everyone was like, wait, that already exists. And it like deters them, but it shouldn't.
Yeah, that's so funny. That is the first thing. Oh, that already exists. Okay. So we're looking for non-existent business ideas. You know how few ideas fall into that. I mean, there are some that are in that category, but that doesn't describe most. That's a pretty crazy mistake that people make.
Are you? I had a friend who was an out-of-state person, and he was looking at University of Miami, and it was $100,000 a year to go. Are you spending? Are you the one? Are you paying for your own tuition?
I am. I do have a scholarship. My parents actually paid for my first semester, which was nice, but now I am paying going forward if I do want to stay. Like, I paid for this one, and after this, I'll probably just honestly drop out, so it won't be an issue.
That's so funny. Are you like? It wasn't until I was like 33 I got off my parents' cell phone bill. Like, it was just too much of a pain in the ass. You still, Sean? Are you on your parents' family plan still?
I think I was till literally last year.
Yeah, like
it was. By the way, it was exactly as much of a pain in the ass as I thought it would be. I was like 4 hours in the AT&T store with my 3 kids. It was
horrible.
Zach, I got a question for you. What are you curious about right now? Like, what's exciting to you? You probably are, you're young and you're kind of technology forward, and you hang out with different people that are, kind of people who do shit that are young. So I'm always interested in what kind of your generation is interested in. Like, are there certain types of businesses that you admire? Are there certain technologies that you're playing with? Like, you'd mentioned VR, for example. Are there companies you think are really cool? Are there spaces, white papers you're reading, research you're reading that's kind of got your interest? Let's just play a game of like, what's been interesting to you lately?
Yeah. I mean, something interesting, which honestly, it's a little bit scary too, is that people like Elon Musk are saying all the time that we're going to have so much abundance that, like, it seems like the need for entrepreneurs is kind of going to go away pretty soon. And that money won't matter anymore. Like, he's saying you shouldn't save for your retirement. And so that's like a super interesting concept. I already feel like the world I live in now, since when I was like maybe 10 or 11, I feel like it's completely different. A lot of that is just like a lot of the beliefs that I held that I was taught in school. They're just completely flipped on their head, and now I believe the opposite. But it really seems like we are going to experience an entirely new world pretty soon if these AI labs reach the goals that they're setting out to achieve. And that's a little scary, but exciting at the same time.
Yeah, so what do you do? Because that's paralyzing, right? I flip-flop between, oh my God, there's so much opportunity, I'm going to make so much money. Then an hour later, oh, I'm obsolete. Then the next one, wait, money's actually obsolete, right? Like, I'm just flopping between these different extreme, like, where's the puck going? And it's very hard to figure out, well, what do I actually do with my time and my energy and my talent now? Like, what's going to matter if you believe that it is going to be a whole new world? Okay, so do you just wait? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, no, it's honestly a great question. I was actually at dinner with Steve Cohen last night, and he was kind of saying
Steve Cohen,
that
the like $50 billion owner of the Mets, Steve Cohen.
Yes. It was very cool, very nice, great to meet him in person. But the most interesting thing he was saying was that right now he's just trying to figure out how to kind of invest or extend the timeline of his companies or ones that he's looking at investing in, like 3 years, just survive 3 years and then figure it out after that. Like, no one knows where the future's heading. So you just have to figure out how to survive in the intermediate period. And then after that, figure out, okay, what do we do next?
Did you learn anything else at that dinner? He's a pretty, he's kind of, he kind of,
was super interesting.
Up there with Elon and a few of these other guys. His insights are probably as wide.
We had very interesting discussions on kind of where society's heading with all of this, different possibilities and like the timeline, the chance of it getting there. It seems like it may take, well, what's interesting is a lot of people are thinking about the AI part. Like, okay, we saw the AGI, then overnight everything changes. That's kind of what people are assuming. But the software is one problem. Software is one small problem. The hardware, like building out these humanoid robots that are going to execute these tasks, that's a whole nother problem. And so there are cool companies like Physical Intelligence that are trying to solve this, but that is potentially just as hard. And so people are underestimating
Are you interested in getting into some of these like really, really big ideas that require a lot of venture capital and can be tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollar companies? Or do you prefer to stay in the consumer space and kind of stay in the same industry that you're into now? A bootstrappable thing.
I really enjoy building products for consumers. I just love, it's the biggest compliment to me hearing that someone else uses something that I built, especially when they love it. Like with Cal AI, it's actually pretty, every once in a while now, someone's like, oh yeah, I use that when they hear that I built it. And it's so awesome to see. So I definitely want to keep that. I think that whether that's hardware or software though, both are cool. I do definitely want to build a company that does have a hardware component to it. Maybe not exclusively hardware, but something that can be either software or hardware, like both that we sell.
Sean, do you have a take on what he was talking about with AI and like so where do you generally land of when you oscillate from I'm going to make a ton of money and money doesn't matter?
All right, that's a complicated question. So I do think both of the first parts are true of what I said, meaning there's never been more opportunity, and also there's going to be a ton of creative destruction. So meaning, oh my God, there's so much opportunity. Also, man, some of these things I own or operate could get wiped out. I think so. I think both of those are true. Similarly, oh my God, I'm all powerful. I can do so much now with AI. Also, I might be obsolete. Also, that's also both true if I don't actually build up skills to use AI well. If I just think that, oh, I'll be in my little bubble here and I'll just keep doing things the way I've been doing them for the past 10 years when this like new super weapon came out, that's also a little bit silly, right? That'd be like having an army with like muskets or something like that and, tanks and whatnot just got invented. So I think both of those are true. Now, the question that Zach's asking, which is like, so what do you do if kind of AGI is around the corner and that corner is, depending on who you believe, 1 to 15 years away? And, so what do you do in that situation? Well, there's kind of two approaches. One is you join the AGI race, right? So you go and join one of the labs, you try to build something in that space. Another thing you do is you build something that will that'll be wind in its sails, right? So there's some companies that every time the model gets smarter, their product gets better, right? So they're building tools for lawyers, let's say, and every time the models get smarter, they're just better at building things for lawyers. Like their tool for lawyers got more useful. And then there's things that AI can't touch, right? And you're like, okay, so what are things that AI is not really going to touch in the near term? So this is like, real world things, community, religion, gyms, things that are like exercise, right? Like what are going to be the things that people will do are kind of the last man standing in a world where AI gets smarter and smarter, better at doing digital work. And so you could go in that direction, right? Like I not famously, but I have a friend who talked to a famous investor and he was like, oh man, AI is going to be crazy. We're going to do this and this and this and this. So what do you think I should do? And he goes, I think you should buy railroads. And he was basically saying like, not literally railroads, but basically what's something that won't get touched by AI? Sounds like you don't know what the hell's going to happen. You should go find something physical that is going to be like, the farthest end away from AI. So you have time to adjust to it versus doing something that's just going to like here today, gone tomorrow type.